الحمد لله الحمد لله الذي ألف بالإسلام بين قلوب المؤمنين وأوجب الاتحاد وحرم التفرق في كتابه المبين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله هدى من يشاء إلى صراط المستقيم، وأشهد أن سيدنا محمد رسول الله خير داع إلى طريق القويم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الذين تحببت نفوسهم وتحبت قلوبهم فكانوا سادة المنصورين. أما بعد، فيا عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي أولا بتقوى الله تعالى وطاعته. That is, all praise is due to Allah, who has united the hearts of the believer in Islam and has made it an obligation to remain united and has made it forbidden to become separated in his clear book. I bear witness that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah, who guides to the straight way whom he pleases. And I bear witness that our leader Muhammad is his messenger and the best caller to the way that is straight. O Allah, send your prayers and your peace upon our leader Muhammad and upon his family and upon his companions, whose hearts were united and whose souls were educated, so that they became victorious leaders. And what follows thereafter, O believers of Allah, I advise you as well as I advise myself to first have the proper regard for Allah and thereafter be obedient to him. Dear believers, I greet you with the universal greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be with you. Dear believers, we are continuing on with the 99 attributes of Allah, and today we are looking at al-movement. And then the word sounds familiar, and what this means is the giver of faith, the giver of iman, the giver of security. And so this is what Allah is. Allah is the one that gives us faith. Allah is the one that gives us security. In the Quran, there's a verse where the Prophet Abraham is speaking to his son, and he says, "O sons, Allah has chosen faith for you, so die not except in a state of Islam. Die not except in a state of belief. Die not except in faith." And so we question and we wonder, what does this mean? What is this faith? How does Allah give us faith? And we know throughout the Quran it mentions that the promise of Allah is true, that Allah's promise is true. And in having that promise given to us by Allah, the promise of the successful will be the believers, the promise of the effort that we put in, that we're striving and struggling in the race, that we will be successful, that we will be the companions of the right hand. This is what gives us faith. This is what gives us security. And we think about that verse of die not except in a state of belief, die not except on the straight path, die not except moving towards Allah, moving towards paradise and the meeting with Allah, which is our final goal. And so I think about if I'm on a ruck march, if I'm doing land navigation, and I'm trying to make my way, and I've got my points, I've got my starting points. That's right where I am right now, and I'm looking to where I'm going, and that's my end point. Now I have to navigate. Now I have to be in a state of belief. I have to be on the straight path. I have to get to my destination. And as I set my azimuth, as I turn my face towards Allah, as I turn my face towards what Allah has promised, if we maintain the practice of following the life of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the Quran, if I'm following that, I'm getting faith now that if I do these specific things, if I go in this specific direction, I will achieve success. I will achieve paradise. So I'm moving along and I'm starting to plot my points. I'm like, okay, this is my checkpoint here. Maybe it's my 5 daily prayers, because Allah says that if I complete my prayers, if I pray and I do all these things, these will be added to my good deeds. So this is my point. I'm plotting. Boom. So now I'm making my prayers because Allah has given me faith. I've got faith in Allah that if I do this, I will be successful. Allah wants me to give in charity. This is another point. And I'm still on this path. I'm still on this path towards success, towards what Allah has promised. And we know that the promise of Allah is true. And so I'm on this path, and I'm plotting my way, and I get to charity. And now I'm looking at fasting, but this one may be a little more difficult. There may be some kind of barrier in front of me. There may be some kind of obstacle that I have to negotiate. And so maybe going straight to it, maybe I got a little weak. Maybe my ability to swim, to navigate through these rough waters wasn't as strong as it should be. So I veered off a little bit. But as I veered off, I remember when I was off the path that the promise of Allah is true. And Allah has chosen faith for us to die not in the state of belief, die not in the state of Islam. And I remembered that while I'm dealing with this adversity, maybe it's something keeping me from fasting. And as I reorient myself, towards the path, and I begin to move forward again. And I'm only moving forward because I have faith, the faith that Allah has given me, that His promise is true. So now I'm back online. Now I'm following in the direction. I'm following in the right direction towards success, because I have security in knowing that the promise of Allah is true. So now I'm back online, and I'm moving forward, and I'm working through what it means to be a Muslim. I'm working through what it means to live as a Muslim. And so that I know that in the event that I die, I'm dying in a state of belief. And I'm only doing this because I have faith in Allah. Allah is the giver of faith. He has given me faith that if I continue to move forward, that if I continue to carry myself as a Muslim, if I continue to pray and give charity and to fast and to make Hajj if I can, all these different things that are on this path, that are in this state of belief, all these things I'm doing because Allah has given me faith. Allah has given me security that if I continue to move in this direction, I will be successful. I will be counted among the companions of the right hand. I will be counted as a believer. Allah is al-Mu'min, the giver of faith, the giver of security. And what better, or who better to give you security than the one who created you? Not your home alarm, not your car alarm, not any kind of weapon that you can carry around to protect yourself or to make you feel like you have some kind of security. This is the creator of everything. The security of this world only lasts you until you take your last breath. But the security that Allah gives you lasts much longer. So let's do as Abraham instructed his sons to do, to die not except in a state of belief. And that doesn't mean that we're looking to go out and die. That's crazy talk. But if it happens to happen, we should be in a state of belief. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Dear brothers and sisters, Allah is al-Mu'min. Allah is the giver of faith and security. When we think about what faith is, when we think about the benefits of having faith, when we think about the benefits of having security, of feeling secure in an idea, feeling secure in a concept, feeling secure both physically, emotionally, spiritually, all these things that Allah gives us. And so we have to think then about the giver that not only possesses the ability to give us faith and security, but the giver who wants us to be successful, the giver that wants us to feel secure, the giver that cares for us so much that our well-being, that our emotional security, our next life, the way we carry on in the next life, whether we have success or failure, this giver is giving you faith and security so that you will be successful. This is a type of love. This is a type of compassion, a type of caring that we can only pray for, that only our Creator could give us. A type of faith and security that through whatever experience we are having, whatever bad times we are having, whatever tough situations we are going through, this giver of faith, this giver of security will cause us to feel as if sometimes those things don't even matter, will cause us to feel as though there is nothing actually happening to us, because we are secure in knowing that if we live our lives correctly, if we live in accordance with Allah, in accordance with the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that we will be successful. And Allah says that successful are the believers, and we will be counted as the believers. Allah is the giver of faith, the giver of security. So as we go out and we think about throughout our day, as we lock our car door because we want to be safe, we put on our seatbelt because we want to be safe, we press the buttons on the wall at the house to set the alarm because we want security. None of these things measure up to the type of security that your Creator can give you. None of these things will protect you from the hellfire. None of these things will protect you on the day of judgment. None of these things will protect you when you're held to account for all of your deeds. The only one that will protect you is your Creator. And the way to have that protection is to have faith that the promise of Allah is true, and to live in a way that is according to the will of Allah. And as we do that, and as we move forward, we will see that we will live up to what Abraham wanted for his sons when he said that Allah is chosen faith for you. And die not except in a state of Islam. Die not except in a state of belief. Allah has chosen faith for you, dear believer. Allah has specifically looked at you and your situation and everything that you've gone through and everything that you're going through, and has chosen faith for you, has chosen this religion for you. Allah wants you to be successful. Allah wants you to enter paradise. But it's up to you. It's up to you. You're the one that has to do the work. You're the one that has to pray, that has to give charity, that has to fast during the month of Ramadan. You're the one that has to do all these things In order to die in a state of belief, one has to be living in a state of belief. So, brothers and sisters, if we're not living in a state of belief right now, let's start. And let's know that Allah is going to give you the faith that you need to move forward. And Allah is going to keep you secure through all the things that you may experience. Al-Mu'min, the giver of faith and security. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين الحمد لله رب العالمين آمين